Mr. Speaker. So, colleagues, before I start, I'd just like to ask you to, I know we're all really busy and we have to listen to a lot of speeches, but I don't speak a lot. This bill is very important to me. I'd really appreciate it if we'd all listen in. Before I get started into my blubbering, I want you to consider some of the floor letters of support and neutrality on this bill. Please consider the diverse group of that is supporting this bill. Oregon Hispanic Affairs Council, full support. Cascade Policy Institute, full support. PCUN, full support. Verde, full support. And then the Oregon Building Trades and National Electrical Contractors Association reviewed this bill and found no reason to oppose it. So I hope you'll tolerate some of my passion today. I feel like pretty reserved on the floor and don't speak very often. I'm just going to have to really open up my heart to you today and hope that it doesn't scare you. I have a lot of passion for this, not landscaping, but what this bill really is focused on, which is freedom, liberty, opportunity for all Oregonians. So the genesis of this moment for me began, I think it was around 2008 or 9. It's been a while ago. I first started out as a sod farmer, just growing turf, delivering it to customers who called me to want to have new lawns put in, and we simply dropped it off and went on our merry way. That started in 2005. But as the economy began to tank in 2008 and 9, it became problematic for my income because I went from where I was at in sales to 40% of those sales from the previous year. And so I'm sitting around at home thinking, how am I going to keep making my bank payment? At this point, I've acquired over $100,000 in debt. I'm living in my grandma's basement. I'm driving a 1992 Ford pickup that I bought for $3,000. I'm renting my tractor, which is my second most important piece of equipment that I used from my dad. I'm renting my field. I don't own a house. It's not looking real good. But I come from a good family, not a rich family, fiscally. They do well, but a rich family from the standpoint of heritage, hard work, commitment to family, commitment to community, commitment to being independent-minded, stubborn, hardworking people. And I wanted to be known as Dallas Hurd, not the son of my father. My father is my ultimate hero in life, and that's never going to change. But I wanted to be my own man. So rather than going to work for my dad at his company, I went out on my own, got a loan from the bank, made a mess of things for a few years, and finally figured out how to deal with things and overcome obstacles, which is the main reason why I feel I am qualified to be in this position as the people's representative of House District 2, in spite of the fact that I'm probably the least educated, I'm proud to say that, from a college standpoint in the whole legislature. I'm a blue-collar guy. I'm proud to wear my blue jeans. So, fast forward to 2009. I get a call one day after starting to install the sod, do some dirt preparation, install sprinklers, so on and so forth. I get a call from the Oregon Landscape Contractors Board and a letter in the mail saying I owe them $2,000 because I'm doing unlicensed landscape construction work. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a license at the time. I was not thrilled with the conversation. The gentleman who is no longer employed at the state now said that when I said, don't I have the work to earn an income in Oregon? Don't I have the right to work? His response was, and it was a very arrogantly said response, let alone the words that were said, no, you don't have the right to work in Oregon. It's a privilege, and you have to go through us to do it. Sorry, I don't agree with that statement. If that's where we've slipped to in the state of Oregon, we need to reconsider the path we're on, because we're only one of 10 states in the entire union that even has a license requirement for this industry. And I would say we're probably the most restrictive, not exactly something I want to be known for. So, he said it's a privilege. Well, again, I disagree. The only privilege that I'm involved in is when you, the customer, calls me, I give you a bid, and you say, I want to select you, not this other person, come work for me. That's the privilege. It is not a privilege to have the right to earn an income in this state. So we're going to harken back to my first term, 2015. This body, thank you for those of you that were here, we voted, nearly unanimous, a bill that was going to attempt to make it easier for folks to take a real skills test with Spanish options for both written and translation so that they could acquire their license so they could compete with a guy like me. The wrong people got their hands on it in the end after it passed out of this building, and we had a 0% passage rate for obtaining a license at a $1,200 expense, not including lost wages for that day when you're taking the test and cost of travel, because it was in one location across the state. So, here we are. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to kind of wrap this up. Consumer protection. It has an $8,000 bid limit on it. That was put forward by one of the opponents. Jameson and I said, that's a great idea. Let's do that. They're still an opponent of the bill. Okay? Folks, as far as consumer protection, if you're a retired couple that doesn't have a lot of money, but you want some nice landscaping, but you are no longer physically able to do the work, this bill is going to give you options that you don't have right now. Because the guy standing before you speaking right now, I won't take a job under $5,000 anymore because I've got too many other jobs that are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Not profit, but the sale. It's the same amount of time to bid, bring the equipment in and out, clean up, all that stuff on whether the job is $5,000 or $50,000 for the most part. And so it just doesn't make sense for me and my family and my employees' families to take that small work. This is going to give people that opportunity to actually have some options. So it's benefiting the consumer. Also, Representative Hernandez mentioned there's a cash business going on because we have a lot of folks that are going to come in from out of the shadows, become licensed, no longer do cash payment work, so there'll be revenue generated from it. Employees, in my opinion, this isn't consumer protection, but my employees are going to benefit from this bill, both from the fact that they are going to, a lot of the ones that are very qualified right now, they're going to split off from the bigger companies that they work for, start their own companies, okay? But the ones that stay behind and keep working for those companies like mine, we're going to have to pay them more to keep them because there's a lot more competition now for those employees. Competition for labor is what actually raises wages. So this bill is going to do that. When I talked to my employees about this morning before I left town, because I really hadn't spoke with them too much about it, I said, I just want you guys to know that in part, this bill is for you. This is not for me. Don't vote for this bill for me. I thank you for your friendship, but I don't need a vote for me. This is going to hurt me. That's not why I'm doing it. It's not why you should do it. We're doing it for the people of Oregon.